first off, we have NXT coming to you from the CW again. This is the second week on the CW. They're coming from the factory in St. Louis. I have to say I really like this building that they're in. This was a cool looking building for a wrestling show.
Yeah, I had never seen that arena before. It fits the whole NXT vibe.
It really does. And so I'm a big fan of the show Heels, and it has that vibe of, if you've seen Heels, the Duffy Dome as they call it, and like it has that like second level where it's almost like a standing room, only second level, and it felt like that. And I was like, this is a really cool building. I really like it. It had, like you said, it has that NXT vibe to it.
Maybe this isn't the best way I would describe it, but if you had to, because NXT is under the WWE umbrella, the place where they were just filming out in St. Louis, it had the underground feel, and NXT would still be the underground of the three. So I hope that as they're doing more shows in more places, they really do a lot of location scouting, because they've got something going on there, and I'm a big fan of what's happening right now.
I love the look of this building. You know what it kind of felt like too? How you said the underground? It had a feel of like an old territory.
Yeah, there you go.
It had that old territory feel. I felt like you could have seen this on, like, it felt like an armory. It felt like old championship wrestling from Florida. And I love that. I dig that. I really do. But like an updated version, which is really cool how they just did everything with this. So the show opened, we get Trick Williams in-ring promo. It's interrupted by Wes Lee, and then all of it is interrupted by main event Jey Uso. Now, what is said between Trick Williams and Wes Lee, unfortunately, is kind of overshadowed by the fact that we get a whoop that trick yeet chant off. But I really like the back and forth between Trick Williams and Wes Lee. And it very much felt like, even though Trick is, I don't know, 40 feet taller and 3 million pounds heavier than Wes Lee, that they're on the same level. Like, it didn't feel like Wes Lee was a cruiserweight. It just felt like he's a guy that's going to gun for this title, and he might have a shot at getting it.
So we often talk about the folks and the difference in size, and it's something that we lean into, especially discussing other shows. NXT has kind of always blurred those lines, because everybody has kind of been in and around the same size since they've come in. You have the outliers, like Trick Williams is, I want to say he's 6'5". I think
he's a solid 6'3", 6'4", or something like that. He's a big dude.
He's
a football player. He's the next Philadelphia Eagle.
And if you think about it, think about the dudes who were, air quotes, big there. Karrion Kross. He was bigger than the rest of the competition, but everybody else same size. Kevin Owens, while being the same height, he was a bigger man. And Samoa Joe. Those are the three that really stand out to me in that time.
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. Good Lord, yeah. Completely forgot he was there.
NXT Keith Lee was otherworldly.
And Dijak too, yeah.
When he first came in, when they were having that series of matches, those guys were doing stuff big men hadn't been doing since like Mike Awesome.
The Keith Lee and Dijak thing, I love the chemistry they had, and this is for anybody listening who delves a little bit deeper and goes the indie route. If you want to see some incredible stuff, look for the Keith Lee and Dijak series in PWG. Even if you can only catch the highlights, you'll be floored. Unbelievable. Granted, the highlights make it look, it really is just the highlights. It's the highest points of the match, the craziest moments. But the fact that their matches weren't just high spot, even though men at that size shouldn't be able to do a match with a work rate like that, the match told a story. And I really wish they would have leaned more into the two of them because I think there was a huge miss on the WWE umbrella with both Keith Lee and Dijak.
I think so too. I think the problem is by the time they were trying to do more with Dijak, I think he had gotten hurt or something like that, and like he wasn't doing as much of the athletic stuff that he had been doing before, which is upsetting because his stuff with Keith Lee was amazing. Their stuff, all of their stuff with Karrion Kross was amazing. Just it, and again, like I get it. Work weight wrestlers, the smaller guys, the Dynamite Kids, at one point Chris Jericho's, the Eddie Guerreros, they're all phenomenal. I'm not taking anything away from them, but sometimes when you get to see the big bull go in there and do stuff they shouldn't be doing, the Vaders of the world doing the moonsault, the Bam Bam Biglows, like that stuff that's the stuff that's awe-inspiring. That's the to use a Vince McMahon term, that's the airport guy. That's the guy who, when he walks through the airport, you might not know who he is, but he's somebody.
Yeah, that's all of that is absolutely spot on. The only thing I worry about with the folks in NXT is, and I'm hoping NXT kind of becomes a thing where it's not just the feeder system. And I hope that they're trying to establish that, because like my fear for Trick Williams, like we've discussed, he's 100% main roster bound.
He absolutely is.
But I have a real fear he's not going to flourish on the main roster, despite the fact that he has every gift imaginable. I would love nothing more in the world than to be 1,000,000,000% wrong on that. I think, the only thing I don't like about Trick Williams is that he played for the Eagles. That's right. It.
But I mean, he has two things that I love about him. One, he looks like a star. Everything about him looks like a star. And two, I like that he actually wears the title belt.